All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is, gosh, I don't even know how many episodes I've done at this point. This is like 5 or 6. Today I am with Joey Ruffalo. Did I say that right?
Ruffalo, close enough.
Man, I had a 50-50 chance to get that right. I knew it was, you'd say it either way. So, well, so I guess, Joey, you kind of know the point of this series that I started was really just to share people's experiences that have moved from California to Tennessee. So
Yeah,
I guess just
excited.
tell us a little about yourself, where you're from and where you moved to.
Yeah, so the name is Joey Ruffalo. I'm a financial coach. I used to live born and raised in New Jersey, moved to California way back when in like 98, dating myself here, aging myself. And as of last June of 2022, a Tennessee resident, me and my wife.
Nice. So
Yeah.
we were talking a little bit earlier and you said you were in that San Francisco area.
San Francisco Bay Area. It's what's considered the East Bay. Familiar with baseball? It's where the Oakland A's play, where the Raiders used to play. That whole area. Could see San Francisco. You could just look out. See it going out there. But yeah, we lived there for 20 something years.
Wow. So what happened? Why did you tell me about was it a gradual buildup and you said, I got to get out of here, or did something happen and you said, okay, I've had enough?
I think it's a combination of things, Matt. It was a gradual buildup of, I would say, unsustainability financially and just, I don't say physically, but mentally. And mental leads to physical. You get started. You're just not happy. So you're not happy. You're not feeling well. You're not feeling well. You get sick. You just icky.
Yeah.
But it was gradual things for years with that, and it was one of those areas where the market and the prices seem to escalate more so than the rest of the country. So housing prices would skyrocket, food skyrockets, gas skyrockets. Everything was just going up and up and up. And so we're at the point where we knew we were going to leave that area, and we had a business and everything, and we said to ourselves, if we're going to move 3 hours away but still be in California and have to start all over again just to stay in California, for example, why can't we just go anywhere we want to go? We have to start over anyway. Let's just pick where we want to go.
Yeah.
And so 2015, we came out to UT for a football game. And That was pretty much, that's indoctrination right there.
That sealed the deal.
Yeah. We saw UT versus Oklahoma. My wife's a big Sooner fan, so we saw that. We went, let's go check out a game. We're going to go see them play. It would be awesome. And everybody was just so nice toward the state. And this was back when East Tennessee still was not as developed as it is right now, or as developing as it is. Mm-hmm. And it was open farmlands, and it was just everything that we were just looking for, especially people. People were just friendly. And I tell this story where we were at a store here in the Knoxville area. It's called Alumni Hall, where they sell a bunch of UT stuff. And we're at this parking lot. And my wife was leaving. She's opening the door, and this elderly gentleman is probably about 75 to 80 years old. He's a good 50 to 60 yards ahead of her in the parking lot. And he had just turned around, and he starts waving her, waving back, don't come out. And she's thinking, what's wrong? There's something wrong out here. He walked all the way back to the door to open the door for her.
Yeah.
And that was our first experience of just Southern hospitality.
Yeah. You're whoa.
I was blown away.
What year did you move? You said 2015. You moved in 2015?
No, actually, that was our first trip here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our first experience here. And then when we came back home from that trip, we're on what's called BART. And BART is our subway transit system for the Bay Area. And it's about an hour ride from the airport to our stop. and I counted 175 times where somebody had the opportunity to be nice, whether it was give up a seat, whether it was like not talking so loud that the other people were angry, you know, kicking somebody's suitcase, not saying sorry. Just little things like that was happening here that wasn't happening there. And it was like, this, man, this is just enough is enough of this.
Wow.
So we got it in our heads that we were moving and we were coming out here. And so we came out about 2 more times after that. We came out 2019 with my my parents, and then in 2020 with my sister-in-law and her husband and my brother-in-law, and just showed them there. And each time, each person was like, "Why aren't you here? Why haven't you moved yet?" And we're like, "Well,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. You know, still it's hard to do." And then the second part of the equation is in late 2021, late 2020, my dad got diagnosed with cancer, and so all of 2021 was spent on my end helping him, you know, go through treatments, helping my mom out. I mean, they lived in New Jersey, I'm in California, so it's 3 hours on the phone differences and just all day, every day, especially during COVID and all that stuff and lockdowns, and it was difficult. And then he passed about a year ago in May, and then my wife and I were looking at each other and it was like, life's short, you know, let's just do it. So we packed up and drove cross country.
Golly, did you moved I mean, your business, I suppose you can do from anywhere, but still you moved to Tennessee and you don't know anybody, right?
We knew nobody, yeah. But we had visited, like I said, about 3 or 4 times, and we were on the message boards and stuff, and we knew enough to know that this is where we wanted to end up. It was just a matter of like, we just got to get there. Once we get there, we'll figure it out. We'll make it happen. But we knew we wanted to be here.
I had a conversation with someone like last week, and we both agreed. Like, people are searching like for the perfect move or a way that it's going to just be easy. And unless you have all the money in the world, and which most people don't, we came to the conclusion it's going to be uncomfortable for a little bit. Like, you just have to do it. There's going to be uncertainty. But if you keep waiting for that perfect moment, it's never going to really arrive. So,
right. Exactly.
Did you use
we
movers?
waited too long. We did.
Yeah.
We used a local company here called Muscle Movers. And what they did is they were specializing in Knoxville to California moves, or California to Knoxville moves. That's all they were doing.
Nice.
Yeah, they're based out of Knoxville. They were just going back and forth to California all the time. So we ended up catching them on one of their runs, and they got us a little like trailer, like one of the little U-Haul trailers, a 6x12 on the back of their semi, and we just pared everything down, threw everything in the back of that little trailer, and that's what was coming with us, and whatever could fit in the car. That's it. Everything else we got rid of.
So that's cool that worked out for you, because several of the people I interviewed, and I wonder, they hired movers, and they got like, the movers took 30 days after they got there, all sorts of issues. But I wonder if a key is that you hired a company out of Knoxville versus a company out of California.
Yeah, they knew the route. They knew everything. So sometimes there's 3 or 4 families at a time. And they're upfront. They were very, explained everything to us about how long it was going to take. And even when we got here, we knew that we had time from when we left to when we were going to get our stuff. So we took our time driving out. We took our time when we got here. And again, it was all stuff we didn't really need. We took, clothing and stuff with us in the car, some of our collectibles or, unreplaceables in the car with us.
Yep.
The other stuff just went on the trailer, and we got here. No big deal.
That's cool. So Muscle Movers out of Knoxville.
Yes. Highly recommend.
What about the drive? Was it like, how long did that take you? Did you make stops? Anything? Did you get robbed?
No, we did not get robbed. No.
Okay. That's good.
Yep. We did the 40 route, I-40. So San Francisco, go all the way down to like Bakersfield, and then, cut across. So we did I-40 the whole way. My goal was to do it in 3 days, do 12-hour drives. And we ended up doing it in about 8 days.
Dang, dude, you got a little
Yeah.
behind. What happened?
The first day took 14 hours for us to get to Flagstaff, and we were a little behind schedule. And we're driving with our cat. Our cat is 17 and a half. And so we were taking a little more pit stops. And quite honestly, what had happened is the 2 or 3 days before we were scheduled to leave, all our stuff was gone, but whatever was we still need to get rid of was still at our apartment. And we spent, I think, 36 hours without sleeping getting the apartment emptied. And by the time the apartment was empty, it was like 6 in the morning. And we're like, okay, well, the apartment's empty, car's packed, let's just go. And we got on the road. And so what we ended up doing was stopping at the Love's truck stops along the way. So we were just, every Love's truck stop was our next stop. So we'd stop regardless where we were in the route. We'd stop, stretch our legs, use the restroom, get a drink, have the cat stretch her legs, just then jump back in the car and go. First stop we got to, it was probably about 8:30 in the morning, and I was like, looked at my wife, said, I need to sleep. We've been up for 36 hours. I slept in the car for about 2.5 hours, and then we're like, all right, I'm good to go. So we just, again, every stop we'd stop at, we got to Flagstaff after 14 hours. It was late, and there's no way I'm getting up the next morning to drive 12 hours. So she said, why don't we just stay an extra day? We'll do the Grand Canyon. We'll do some touristy things. Said, great. So that's what we did. We did the Grand Canyon the next day, and I realized how much fun that was to kind of be a tourist. And we just decided, we jumped in the car the next morning after that. Where do we want to hit? I think we want to hit Amarillo. And it's kind of far. How far is Albuquerque? Oh, it's about 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours. Book a hotel. Let's go. So it took us a little bit to get there. We stopped off in like Winslow, Arizona, to go stand on the corner and sing the song. And then, from the Eagles.
Love that.
Yeah. And we just did that the entire way. Yeah. It was awesome.
I mean, that's almost like a way to decompress from the whole move. Like, hey, you're doing this crazy move. Everything's rush, get here and there. It's almost like just give yourself 10 days or 9 days or 8, whatever you did, and go see some stuff and relax.
Yeah, we realized we should have spent more time on the road. That was the thing when we got here. It was like we should have spent more time in certain places.
And that's good advice. That's good advice for people. Set aside 10 to 14 days for the ride and just chill out and enjoy it.
And it was one of those rides where it was I can't think of the right phrasing for this, but it's like cathartic, I guess, is that the right word, where it's just like you're kind of just seeing things and realize you're making the right choice. Like I'd mentioned, my dad had passed about a month earlier, and so I started seeing symbols along the way of things related to him or things related to our journey, and realized like we are making the right decision. We are being pushed in the right direction, because we had a lot of trepidation about coming. Her whole family was there. Our nieces and nephews are there that we grew up, since before they were born, they're attached, we're moving to a place where there's no family. And it's like, are we making the right choice? And every stop we see initials that like, oh, that's my dad's initials at some like random truck stop that like doesn't make any sense why they'd be there. Or we're in the middle of Arkansas at a truck stop, just, stretch our legs kind of thing. And they have a map in the rest area of where you're at. And so I don't even know where along I-40 this is, but I geotagged it on my phone, right? So it says we're in Knoxville, Arkansas. Like, I don't even know there's Knoxville, Arkansas, but it says Knoxville, Arkansas. And on the map is this little dot of Knoxville, Arkansas, a dot called Danville, Arkansas, and Belleville, Arkansas. And I say that because I grew up in the town of Belleville, New Jersey. My nieces live in Danville, California, and we're moving to Knoxville, Tennessee. And it's all on this map in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas. I'm like, are we making the right choice? Yes, we are. Keep going.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. I can't believe I'm just like, I think of so many things when I'm talking to you, like that story about when you got on the train, or the BART, is that what it's called? The BART?
Yeah, BART. Yeah. BART, yeah.
And you counted times when people could be polite and they weren't. Like, And I get that. I grew up in Massachusetts, and then I went to college in Knoxville. And like, I don't really remember people in Massachusetts being rude like that. I really don't. But I was young, so I don't think I noticed a lot of things. But here, I mean, yeah, like, excuse me, thank you, please, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am,
Yeah.
holding the door, like all of that stuff. That's like 100% given you do that.
Dude, we get the excuse me, we're in Costco. You know how long those Costco aisles are. When you
Yes.
take the corner and they're on the other end of the row and they're making the turn as well. And they're like, excuse me. And it's like, you got about another 3.5 minutes before we pass. It's okay.
And
It's
they
all good.
smile. You should
Yeah.
see me. I moved out to some land, but I was in a neighborhood, and I'd be out my front yard, man, everybody, hey, waving, and you go for a walk and just waving and smiling to everybody.
That was the hardest thing to kind of get used to when we got here, is people actually wanted to talk to you and
Yeah.
have a conversation. And you have to realize, so anybody that's moving here, you have to realize you can't be set on a schedule, because what's going to happen is you go to the post office and you say, hi, how you doing? It's a 30-minute conversation. It's not a just pleasantry, hi, how you doing, keep going. No, it's going to be a 30-minute conversation about their entire life, your life, everything. So set aside time when you're out to have conversations.
Yeah. I think every time that I would like sell a vehicle, when I would sell something, like back in the day, you'd sell cars on like Craigslist or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like some old country dude would show up at my house and I'm like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
He'd go, yeah, well, just need a little vehicle to put around in. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to take forever.
Yep.
Did
We're at the post office one day and I had my California plates and the guy's like, California? I don't know about this. So we had a conversation. He told me where to go buy a car, who to see, what rate I should be asking for. All these things. Like, don't go see don't go see Matt at the dealership. Go see John. John knows me better. John went to school with my daughter. Tell her Kelsey, tell him you should be getting no more than this percentage. You don't want to pay more than this per month, and he'll hook you up. Don't worry. But don't go to the other dealership down there that he works at. Go to this one he works on this day a week. I got a whole.
You're like, all
right, cool, man.
Did you guys end up buying a house, or are you renting?
So funny story is we're in a hotel, and we've been in a hotel
Right now?
since we got here. Yeah.
Wow.
For the last 10 months, we've been in a hotel. We came out with the intention of being here short term and then going to rent.
Okay.
And then renting for about a year and then buying. And what happened is when we got here in the middle of June last year, the market was ridiculous. The housing market was crazy. The apartments were about 99.6% capacity, so everything was full. And the waiting lists were really long. We had seen a bunch of waiting lists where, we're going, like I said, it was June, and we're going there like, well, we might have something in December. And it's like, well, 6-month waiting list, and it's a lot of the places we go to. It was, a fee for me to be on the waiting list, a fee for my wife to be on the waiting list, and a fee for our cat to be on the waiting list. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm going to put my name down at 8 to 10 places and spend $5-6 grand in waiting list fees, some of these places were $500 a place. Yeah. I might as well just not do that. Wait till the market kind of figures itself out, and I'll spend that time at the hotel. Then we're happy.
It's starting to figure itself out too. Like, prices are still high, but it's slowed down. Like, you could go look at homes now and like think about it. At least here you
Yeah, same thing with the apartments. They're starting to come up, but then we start doing the cost analysis with the apartment rentals, and it's like, okay, yeah, I understand the apartment situation, and the hotel is a lot different. But we're in a hotel. It's like we have a 1-bedroom, full kitchen, all the amenities we want. There's obviously a pool when it's open, full laundry that's free, housekeeping, internet, hot water, breakfast daily is for us. And it's like when you add all that on top of what the rent cost is, it's like it's going to cost more to rent than where we're at, even though we're spending a little bit more now than the actual rent. But when you add all that other stuff in, it ends up being more costly. So we're just using this spot as like, we got a spot. We're happy where we're at. It's working out for now. It's about the size of our first apartment when we got married. We're making do, and we are exploring. We're going out. We are making new friends. We're getting active in clubs. We are, traveling around the areas and trying new restaurants and things like that. Like I don't think we'd be able to do some of that stuff if we were in a different situation financially with that. Being in an apartment, let's say, for this. So that's just where we landed.
I mean, and you got flexibility too. So if something
Yeah.
comes up or something happens or whatever, you guys can pick up and do what you need to do.
Yeah, I can leave tomorrow if I want to. It's no big deal.
Are you guys happy? I mean, are you happy?
Oh yeah. Probably the happiest we've been in a long time. We're always content. Being with ourselves and being happy, but just California was really tough to make friends, and here it's been really easy. And that might just be from political views and groups we hang out, or whatever it might end up being, right? But it was always difficult. Like the story I said earlier, it's always difficult to make friends in California because just people were just a little different, standoffish, a little to themselves. Here, it's like I haven't met a stranger that's a friend. What are those phrases? Everybody's a friend. There's no strangers here.
I always wonder that in California, like when you live there, if you like go to a friend's house and there's a party, does like everyone sit there and they're like, man, we hate Trump. Man, like I want more taxes. Like it must be weird conversations going on. Like, hey, I can't wait to get a double up mask. And it's like covers your mouth twice. And I'm going, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Well, that was a big deal too, man. We came out in 2020 in July, and everything had shut down in March. And we flew out here in July, and California was shut down for another good couple months after that, where everything was really locked down. And we were out here eating in restaurants, and driving around and doing things that were completely different. And yeah, there was the social distancing at the restaurant, every other table thing, and put the mask on when you walk in and out. But kind of understand that a little bit. But California, man, everything was shut down. I mean, they are still in COVID lockdown in some areas in California because it's just,
Yeah.
And I think that's what drove a lot of people out. That's what drove a lot of the people to realize, like, hey, is it worth it to be here and spend all this money and do all this stuff and not be able to do things?
Yeah. I think you're right.
What's the ultimate end goal?
I think you're right. I think that was a huge turning point. How's your financial business? So you do financial like consulting, coaching for individuals?
Yep. So I do individual coaching for couples and small businesses. For that side, for the financial side, I do budgeting, debt management, debt repayment plans, and some basic wealth building. So basically getting them out of debt, getting them on the right path. And then for small businesses, I do a profit growth acceleration. So I work with them to find, revenue in their business without spending money on marketing and advertising.
That's cool. I bet, man, you could probably, I feel like people from California moving here might need someone new to help them or get like a lot of people that I talk to from California, they're so strapped because stuff was so expensive. They never could think about building wealth. Right. So I guess to the people watching this, if you make the move out to Tennessee, reach out to Joey and you can actually start putting together a plan and building wealth.
That's right. What I would say is, to backtrack on that real quick, or to piggyback, is one wealth tip that I would have for people who are looking to come here is visit, and visit multiple times if you can. And it don't just come out like, I read the message boards. It's like, oh, my husband came out, he saw the area, we're moving next week. Well, have you ever been to the area before? Have your kids been to the area? You guys might hate it. Don't make the move just because you see your house in California is worth X and the house in Tennessee is worth Y, and you think you're going to get a good deal. Because I've read so many stories on those boards where once the people got here, they just weren't happy. It's not because of the area or stuff, and maybe they just bought in the wrong neighborhood and they didn't realize it because they never visited before. and now they're stuck. So
That's a good
come out.
like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just say, so come out and visit. We'll welcome your tourist dollars for a while, build the economy up, and then, when you're ready, then you can come out and move here.
I mean, that's almost the reason that I started doing these videos. So like if you go on YouTube, there's me and there's some other agents on there, and we'll do these videos like 10 reasons you should move to Nashville. And like I try to put together stuff or reasons that I think are good, or I try to do like, hey, why you should move to Franklin, Tennessee or Farragut or wherever. But like it's hard for me like to really describe it and know if someone's going to like it, because I don't know that person. I don't know what they're used to. I don't know their expectations of places. So like, you're right. People need to come out here and visit and see and drive around. Because some people are just like, oh my gosh, this is the best place I've ever seen in my life. I'll move here now. And then others are like, I don't know, looks a little country to me or whatever,
Yeah, we were lucky enough that when we came out each time, it was a different season, and we had planned it that way too. We wanted to see what fall was like, what winter was like, what spring and summer were like, and not just land here in springtime or fall time, get caught up in like a Vols game. It's nice, 52 degrees outside, it's beautiful, and then realize like you move here and then realize, oh wow, we got 16 inches of snow one day, and then it's like 80 degrees the next day, or it's 110 in the summertime, and I didn't realize it was that hot. You got to experience some of these things before you make that decision. And that's my wealth building tip, because you'll be happy that way. Spend a little bit now to not realize it later.
I so miss those fall days when it got like crisp and a little bit cool, and there would be a UT game, and put on your orange jumpsuit, your overalls.
Haven't gotten a pair yet, but there you go. Yep.
I mean, it's just great. It's such a good college football scene there. Oh my gosh. Well,
that's great. It's wonderful.
All right, we're coming up on 30 minutes, so really this is I appreciate it. I know, right?
No problem. I appreciate you having me at any time.
Yeah. So, I mean, guys, I think Joey gave some great tips. If you're thinking of moving here to Tennessee and you don't have a financial planner or consultant or coach or whatever you want to call them, reach out to Joey. I mean, it's a good time to get started. So.
Exactly. I'll get your plans ready before you get here. And then when you get here, you'll be happy.
Yep. All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. See y'all.